coming up on Double Take Sports Talk. Going to preview this weekend's AFC Championship game. And we're also going to look back on the divisionals, what we felt about it, everything you need to know, but also the championship games, all of that coming up next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk, 5 good minutes with the Watch Brothers. Not. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daryl. I'm the side. Say hello to Daryl. Watch everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
All right. You feeling good, man? You all right?
Of course, always. Even if it is a horror movie part 1, let's do it.
Yeah, big time. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to kick this baby off. We're going to go ahead and first and just take a look back. We're going to go step backwards here. We're going to take a look at the divisionals. Anything that stood out to us of any sort. There, what you got?
I expected it. I seen it coming. But the fact is that I'm impressed with Green Bay and beating Dallas. What I'm not impressed with is letting them come back like that. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 125 yards, practically ran all over Green Bay's defense on 22 attempts. Dakota Prescott threw 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, and just a pick. The fact is that Aaron Rodgers almost got outperformed by Dakota Prescott. Aaron Rodgers 355 yards and just 2 touchdowns and a pick. Both quarterbacks threw picks in that game. I'm impressed overall with Green Bay and how they managed to come from a 3-4 start to go ahead and win not only their division, but also win the wild card and the divisional going into the NFC Championship game. And I'm also impressed with Green Bay for hanging in there with no running back, with no running game, and Aaron Rodgers just took over everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm impressed with that.
And to add on to what you was mentioning about Green Bay and what they was able to do without a running back, and that is pivotal. Because I'll say this, you need a running game to establish a passing game. This game right here, Dallas and Green Bay, I threw it out there on Facebook with Will Walker and his crew. I threw it out there. Aaron Rodgers don't need no running back. He is tearing his defense up. They don't need it.
Yeah.
Look, Ty Montgomery, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pivotal for when you're in the red zone and goal line situations. You're going to need that type of running back to score it in because you could easily get a pick off of that. Very easily. So that just tell you right there with Green Bay's potential move to the Super Bowl, it's possible. And don't even need a running back to do it. They don't even need a running back to do it. But what stood out to me, what I thought was a pretty good matchup was Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Now,
I'm very disappointed in that game.
Me too. I'm very disappointed in that. But at the same time, this will tell you right here that the pivotal factor of Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell all being healthy and they're actually out there doing their thing. But here's my problem. None of them scored a touchdown. All of Pittsburgh's points came on field goals. All of them. And if you're going to try to face a team like New England, you got to score touchdowns. You got to score touchdowns.
If you can't score against Kansas City, what makes you think that you can score against New England?
Exactly. That just shows you right there. If you're actually just putting 3 points on the board every possession that you get, how well are you going to be able to turn this around against a team like New England and going to Foxborough at Gillette Stadium and try to get a win? How are you going to up that? How are you going to up that?
Score. Period. Lynn Bell need to run all over their defense. Antonio Brown need to catch touchdowns, and Ben Roethlisberger need to be able to throw without throwing an interception. He cannot throw a pick in this game. They will lose if he do that.
I agree. And he already threw a pick in the divisionals against Kansas City. So he didn't even throw a touchdown. So that just tell you right there that I'm kind of worried about Pittsburgh and the direction that they're heading. Now, nothing wrong with, scoring field goals. And these field goals did win them the game. It did do that. I'll give it that. Scoring all those field goals did win the game for them. But, sometimes you really just have to sit down and think, okay, what happens if this happens on the next round? What would happen, if they did this in the AFC Championship game? Would the defense be able to hold on? It's just a lot of things that you have to consider. It's a lot of things you have to think about. So this is going to be very interesting when we go on to the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. We're going to get to that here pretty shortly and get our predictions and all that. But I just found that very, very interesting on how Pittsburgh won that game by field goals. 6 of them.
Yeah. I mean, the Colts did it, believe it or not. When they won their Super Bowl that year, Baltimore, they did it. I think it was 5. I don't think it was 6. I think it was 5. It was 15-6. But yeah, it was 5 field goals.
Yeah, 5 field goals.
So you have, if Pittsburgh does it with Kansas City and the Colts did it with Baltimore, it can be a good sign to show that they could possibly win in New England. So you have both sides of that game to actually sit down and think about what would be the advantage of that, because the Colts did it, like I said, they did it in their Super Bowl. They didn't score any touchdowns against one of the best defense in the league at that time, the Baltimore Ravens, with Brian Billick at the time. They did not score any touchdowns. Neither did Baltimore. They didn't score no touchdowns.
No, they didn't.
It just goes to show what can happen. So it's very possible that Pittsburgh can go into New England and beat them, even though they didn't score a touchdown last week against the better defense of Kansas City.
Yeah, no doubt in mind. Before we actually jump ahead to the AFC Championship game, Darren, I want to get your thoughts about that Atlanta and Seattle game. You picked Seattle. Now, I was the one, not Seattle. I picked Seattle. You had picked Atlanta. I want to know your thoughts, even though that game showed Seattle's good side. Regardless of the fact that they lost the game, that's just me personally, it still showed their good side. And it showed no inconsistency with the Seattle Seahawks. It's just that Atlanta had outplayed them. I just want your thoughts on that. What do you think about that game?
Well, I agree to an extent to where it did show Seattle's good side. And Seattle did just flat out just get outplayed. They got outplayed by a better Atlanta offense and defense. Atlanta is looking kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
They're looking dangerous going into the NFC Championship game against another dangerous team of Green Bay. Atlanta really don't have no running game like that, like Green Bay. So this is going to be a very fairly close game. I like the ability in how Seattle didn't give it up. They stayed strong, they stayed tough, and they stayed to the minimum. I think little small distractions got them kind of out of the game.
Right.
The injury to Richard Sherman and them not disclosing it, I think that kind of hurt them. I think it's just a guilty conscience thing. That's just me.
I agree. I definitely agree.
That's just me. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think that part of that being guilty, not being able to report Richard Sherman's injury could have, caused that distraction. That's just me. I may be wrong, but Seattle did tough it out, and I'm very proud of Seattle for what they were able to do.
So am I, especially with Russell Wilson. He had ran for 49 yards that game, rushing. You know, he had a pretty impressive first drive, you know, in the Seattle's first possession. It looked pretty good, and they looked promising when it happened, but everything just happened to just collapse just a tad bit at that point. And then Atlanta just ran away with the game in the second half, mostly in the third quarter. And Matt Ryan throwing absolutely no picks. That just tell you right there. Green Bay, Seattle, Green Bay, a team that can actually extend plays and make impossible plays versus Atlanta, less turnover team, most points a game type of. This is going to be a good one. It's just awesome. This is just going to be awesome. I got your thoughts on that. I thought that was very interesting. There's no need to talk about the Texans. That we already knew what was coming with that. Now we're going to switch forward, and we're going to go ahead and preview the AFC Championship game.
Okay, the championship game. The AFC Championship game features the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots at 6:40 on CBS. So that's both games are going to be on Sunday. Pittsburgh and New England are going to be the second game to be on, and that's going to be on CBS. Both teams are playing on both of their respective stations, Fox and CBS. New England won the last three matchups against Pittsburgh, and they were all by margins. Well, except the other one in 2015, but all of them was by a big margin. Daryl, who do you have for the Pittsburgh-New England game?
Okay. Considering that we have a very competitive nature of the Patriots and the Steelers. Now, Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been able to live up to his ability this playoffs so far, but, you know, things can change with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, but they have been a threat to get to this point. They have been a sincere threat. So I'm pretty impressed with what Pittsburgh has been doing and what's going to happen. But then you look at New England, it's like, okay, you expect this. This is what you see. So I'm going to take a big calculated risk here. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Man, you are taking a big calculated risk. You are taking a very big calculator. I'm impressed. Me personally, I'm just going to feel like this. I look at New England, and I look at the ability of them being able to beat Pittsburgh, especially in the last three matchups. And I look at Pittsburgh, the ability that they can beat them or keep it close at that. And I think most of the majority of these matchups, none of the three beings was actually healthy. With them being healthier this year, this ain't the same Pittsburgh team that won that 2010 Super Bowl. Like I said, last week when Pittsburgh faced off against Kansas City, nobody scored a touchdown. Nobody. That kind of disturbs me against a team like New England.
Well, Kansas City did score a touchdown.
Like I said, Pittsburgh did. Kansas City did. Right. And even though Pittsburgh still won that game, that was only because they only scored one touchdown. New England, they take advantage of those types of situations. We have seen it game after game after game. The team messes up, they come back, and they capitalize off of it. They cannot afford to throw an interception. They cannot afford to turn over the ball, such as a fumble or anything like that. I see Pittsburgh doing that because none of the three Bs scored a touchdown last week. They need to be able to get past this New England defense. Le'Veon Bell has to start it off. Not Ben Roethlisberger. Le'Veon Bell has to start this off.
Yep.
Do not see that happening. I'm going to have to go with New England in this game. Believe me, I don't want to, but New England is going to win this game.
Well, the one thing that New England's going to have to look after, and you're looking at the Houston game, the Houston and New England game last week in the divisionals, the one thing that you're going to have to look at when New England is playing against a defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans got after Tom Brady. They put pressure on him all game long. But somehow New England pulled it off, which is fine. But now you're looking at a more tougher defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially with James Harrison. They are going to have to find a way to stop him. And I think on the defensive side of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they are going to be the reason why that they limited New England to some points. This is not going to be a blowout game. I say that right now. That's not even a question. Pittsburgh's defense has really shown that they have the ability to stop an opponent's offense. That's why I believe that Pittsburgh can pull this off. But the only problem with this is that with them last week just scoring a whole bunch of field goals, that's not going to cut it for them. They have to get up to that strong start. They have to score touchdowns. So that's why I believe that that Pittsburgh could pull this off. But hey, that's what I want to see. That's why I took that big calculated risk. So this is going to be interesting how this works out.
Girl, I want to see it so bad. I really do. But I'm not confident with Pittsburgh, and that's another reason why I'm not confident with Pittsburgh. Not only do they have to play pretty much perfect football, there's already distractions. Antonio Brown with the social media policy, and I just cannot see them being able to turn it around, focus, and then go out there and beat New England. Mike Tomlin making the comments that he made when Antonio Brown did that, I think that just threw it all the way for him. I think it threw it all the way. Just don't think so.
We'll find out. What time's that game? 6:40?
6:40 on CBS.
Yeah. We'll find out. 6:40 on CBS. We're looking forward to that game. Okay. Next game.
And final game. The 3:05 game on Fox. The very first game. Very first game at the Georgia Dome. The Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Green Bay won the last 2 of the 3 games. Atlanta won, I want to say it was week 6 or week 7, somewhere around that range. They won that only by 1 point. That being said, Durham, who you have in this game? They are close margins. They are not by a lot.
No, they're
These
not.
last 3 games that they played each other, this is going to be a good game.
This is going to be
a good game.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, one of the best games in the NFC Championship. So I have been impressed with the way Green Bay has been playing, but the only thing I have not been impressed with Green Bay is how they almost been blowing leads or have blown leads, but managed to win the game under peer pressure. So with that being said, with a hot offense of the Atlanta Falcons, I'm going with Green Bay.
Yeah, that seems fair. I like Atlanta's offense. I like Atlanta's defense. I like what they put together. I like the team. I like how they all are coming together. And I also like Green Bay. Both teams are just phenomenal. Awesome. This is going to be another very good game to look at. There's no doubt in my mind, because I didn't even do no analysis for either one of these teams, because I just pretty much just know who's going to win just by performances. I'm not even going by paper on this one. After looking at the performances of Green Bay last week against Detroit, Dallas, and then looking at Green Bay's performances, Pittsburgh's performance against Kansas City, I looked at Green Bay, and I looked at how they poised. That's my main thing. I got Green Bay.
Yeah, to note that all teams that has led in points per game has not won a Super Bowl, and Atlanta's being one of them. So, Atlanta's could be on that list if they lose the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting how that works out.
Yep. There it is. Your AFC, NFC championship games. We will see who will head to Houston February 5th, 2017.
This is Double Take Sports Talk with the Watts Brothers. I'm Daryl Watts. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to see more, check out our videos on YouTube. And while you're there, subscribe, like, and share our videos. We don't mind. We're also on the social media side, where you can catch up on the latest news and developer stories and different stat information. Follow us on Twitter at DTST2414. Or you can follow me, Daryl, at Love University, and follow Darren also at Darren Watch 14. We're on Facebook also, Double Take Sports Talk page at the Watch Brothers. Darren's is Darren Watts on Facebook, and I am myself, Darren Watts II on Facebook. We got the blog Feature Critical Thinking and Analysis, so you can check that out at doubleTakeSportsTalk.blogspot.com.
All right. Before we wrap this up, take a look at a couple of things that you need to know for championship weekend. With New England Patriots, they have won their 8th AFC East title in a row. That is the most consecutive division titles in NFL history, and had advanced to the AFC Championship game for the 6th season in a row. Also the longest streak of all time. You know, remember, maintenance Bill Belichick? But let's not go into that.
Yes.
Okay, the Patriots are 8-5 in AFC Championship games all time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have advanced the AFC Championship game for the 16th time in franchise history and are 8-7. And the winner of Sunday's AFC Championship game was set an NFL record for the most Super Bowl bursts in NFL history. So far, with that being said, the teams with the most Super Bowl appearances, San Francisco 49ers with 6, Pittsburgh, New England, Denver, and Dallas all have 8. And the winner of these two, one of them is going to get the top one. So with that being said, this weekend's championship game will feature 3 quarterbacks who have combined for 7 Super Bowl titles. New England's Tom Brady with 4, Pittsburgh's Roethlisberger with 2, and Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers with 1. So, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Tom Brady have all combined for 7. And other players to have done that, in 93, Joe Montana and Troy Aikman, with the combined of 5, with Montana winning 4, Aikman winning 1. 2014, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. Brady has won 3, Aaron Rodgers won 1, and Russell Wilson won 1, which was 5. 2015, last year, Brady and Manning, Brady had 4, Peyton Manning had 1. That's a total of 5. Now, 2016, Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, and Aaron Rodgers, of course, as I mentioned earlier. Over to the NFC side. Matt Ryan led the NFL with a 117.1 passer rating in 2016, the 5th highest single-season rating in NFL history. Tom Brady with 112.2 and Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers with 104.2, ranked 2nd and 4th, respectively. The 4 quarterbacks projected to start the AFC and NFC Championship games on Sunday combined for 107 passer rating this season, the highest combined regular season passer rating by the 4 starting quarterbacks in the season's championship games. And of course, 4 starting quarterbacks, the highest combined regular season passer rating in the season's championship game was in 98. Randall Cunningham, Vinny Testaverde, Chris Chandler, and John Elway. Randall Cunningham at 106, Vinny Testaverde with 101.6, Chris Chandler with 100.9, and Elway with 93. Several of the best NFL's best and brightest had the opportunity to make their postseason record book on Championship Sunday. Aaron Rodgers passed for 355 yards and 2 touchdowns to the Packers' 34-31 victory at Dallas in the divisional playoffs. Rodgers, who has passed for at least 350 yards and 2 touchdowns in both postseason games this season, can tie Drew Brees with 3 for the most consecutive playoff games with at least 350 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes in postseason history. And, of course, the players who have done that, Kurt Warner done it twice with 2 different teams. He had did it in 99 and 2000 with the Rams, St. Louis Rams, with a streak of 2. Warner did it again with the Cardinals in 2008-2009 with 2. Aaron Rodgers in 2016 with 2. And Drew Brees, the Saints, in 2010 and 11 with 3. And lastly but not least, Le'Veon Bell. He had rushed for 170 yards in Steelers' 18-16 win at Kansas City. He is the first player in NFL history to have rushed at least 150 yards in his first 2 career postseason games. He had rushed for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns in the wildcard win against Miami. Has the 2 highest single game rushing performance in franchise postseason history. With 113 yards at New England on Sunday, could that be possible? Maybe. What do you think?
113 rushing yards.
Oh, to get 113 yards?
Do you think, well, with 113 rushing yards at New England on Sunday, he'll become the 5th player for at least 450 rushing yards in a single postseason? Do you think he could get 113 yards rushing Sunday?
I have no idea, Joe. To be honest,
I think he can.
It's a toss-up.
He's too patient. He is too patient. I think he could do it.
But New England is too quick.
They ain't all that quick, man.
Yeah, they are. They quick. They ain't ranked 7 for a reason in defense.
Yeah, that's 7. We'll see. I think he get it.
It's possible, but it's a toss-up right here. It's a toss-up.
So, with that being said, the other players to have done that was Eddie George with the Titans in 99, 499. Marcus Allen with the Los Angeles Raiders in 83 with 466. Terrell Davis, back-to-back with the Broncos. In 98, he did 468. In 97, 581. And John Riggers with the Washington Redskins in 82 with 610. That's what you need to know. That was also via NFL Communications. Derek, do you have anything else you want to add to this, baby? If we can get up on out of here.
No, I ain't got nothing else to add. Green Bay, New England, and one of the Super Bowl picks.
You got Green Bay, New England?
Yeah, I picked them to win the championship game. They ain't gonna be the one to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I see Pittsburgh going. I could put it.
So you're pretty much saying this is going to be a rematch of the 2010 Super Bowl. I'm sorry, that was Pittsburgh and Arizona. Scratch that. What year was that based off? 2008. Yeah, 2008.
Was it? I don't remember.
No, it wasn't 2000. Nope, it wasn't 2008. Aaron Rodgers was playing. Or was it Brett Favre?
No, it was Aaron Rodgers. 2010 was Aaron Rodgers. I don't remember who they played. Was that Pittsburgh they played?
No, it was Arizona. Oh, they're in the same division.
No, they were saying it was Pittsburgh, 31-25. 31-25.
I mean, you went for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we went for Pittsburgh and lost. Yeah, so, yeah, I remember that. Whew. Yeah. All right, with that being said, that is another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. With me, Daryl. They're on opposite side.
Hi-yow!
Yeah. So, if you like what you see, give the video a thumbs up. As usual, comments, questions, concerns, give this video a like, comment below in the comments section. We're always here. But in the meantime, catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then,
ciao.
ciao.